Hey, welcome back to Grit Gym. It's Rachel and Adam show. I guess it's not necessarily just the Grit Gym show now. It's the Rachel and Adam show. Is that we'll call it that. Please like, comment, share. Please slap that share button. Send this out to everybody you know. And if you like it, we'll during the video we're gonna actually see your face go across the screen. It's pretty cool. But anyway, today we're talking about social media and some of the stuff like why we got into doing this, doing these shows, why we do this stuff, the way that we do it, and the reason for this show is because we see so much hate around social media, and we see so many people used by social media instead of using social media for what it can be. And I really think that social media can be a really great thing. And me personally, I do not think that all the problems in the world are because of social media. I think the problem that social media is exposing all of our problems, that it's instead of causing all of our problems, even though it's an easy point to blame, or it's an easy thing to blame on all the problems. So we're going to get a little bit into that. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons, and Rachel's going to go into a little bit about how it was when this whole thing started, because a lot of people tend to forget that this was in 2004 and 2005. I think it was 2005 that Facebook came out, and it was the first real big one. And it was the first one that went big anyway. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But do you want to do?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
You're just like really loud. Yeah. I'm just going to say that for me. Okay. But moving on, we thought we'd talk about our first experiences with what we wouldn't have called it social media back then, but yeah. How did social media start? And my first memory of social media was being in, or we called it Facebook because that was the only thing, basically.
It was the only thing.
It was like Facebook and blogs, and we didn't really know what blogs were, but Facebook was just in, like if you've watched the Facebook social network, it started at college, and it was just a good way for people to have like a social interaction on campus.
Well, this was the first accepted social media, but really, if you email is a form of social media. The internet, just in general, is a form of social media. There was other things before Facebook that didn't take off. Like MySpace was before Facebook. MySpace was actually made for bands to put their music on. It wasn't made for people to just have their own. And there was another one, I don't remember what it was called before that, but the original Facebook was just like it was like a pamphlet that you scrolled through of all the freshmen' faces and their names.
Okay, so then back to my story.
Yep.
My first memory of it was being in like computer class, and at that time I had heard about Facebook, but it was newly in high school. Like you had to be in high school to get a Facebook account.
You don't like
high school or college at that point. This is my memory.
When you were in high school?
This is my memory.
It came out when you were in high school though?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I was a senior. And the only way you could get an account was if you were in high school or college, and you had to have like.
This is too many details.
Okay, well then your experience.
No, like social media. What was it a bad thing? Was it a good thing? Was it exciting?
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. It was new. It was like, ooh, you get to be on social media. It was like kind of exclusive because not everybody could do it. You had to be a certain age. So this was before, I don't know, maybe Google even. Google was around, but it was before like Instagram. It was before Snapchat. It was before Twitter. It was like a little bit before MySpace, and MySpace was kind of, I don't know. I didn't like MySpace.
Facebook? MySpace came before Facebook.
Well, yeah, but like
and Google came before
got
that.
really big.
And then
right after Facebook.
And then YouTube and then Twitter came right after that. They basically came out right. That's a good. But there was other sites that you could go to, like College Humor, that were around that you could do stuff on. Mm-hmm. But like so now you've got the backstory. So it wasn't that long ago. This is 2005. So now it's 2018. Mm-hmm. So this is 13 years ago, and it completely changed the world over the last 13 years. And now the whole world's trying to say social media is this bad, terrible thing. Mm-hmm. what is the explanation? Is social media the bad, terrible thing? Is social media causing all the people's depression, causing kids to want to try to commit suicide? Is it getting kids to, is this the reason that kids are shooting up schools and that the Las Vegas thing happened? Is social media the cause of all this stuff?
I mean, there's an evolution to how we interact socially. And I think social media has kind of just given us a broader stage for a lot of different topics. Before, we're kind of like stuck in our little bubble. Like, you only know what's going on in the town that you live in and the school that you're at. But now,
that was probably
any
really
topic you want to look up and get to know and have like similar people be looking at the similar topic, like, you can find that, and you can find it very easily.
You mean today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas before, was like, if it wasn't happening in your vicinity, it just wasn't going to be a thing for you. You weren't going to know about it.
I can't really speak to like the mental health part of it, because I think you should take responsibility for shooting up whatever and
not blame it on social media.
Yeah,
I do too.
It's a
What
tool.
about the people saying that that's the reason that they shot up the school?
That happened before social media.
Should they? I think so too. But the newscaster, the newspaper person, CNN, ABC, Fox, whatever, like all these people that are willing to say the reason that they shot up the school is social media had an influence on them. Does that statement put more responsibility on that person, or does it put more responsibility on social media?
It puts it on social media. And so you're saying that the responsibility should be voiced, that it is put on the individual that did those acts. Is that accurate? More, yes, because you have to be responsible for your own actions.
Yeah. I think so. I think you're responsible for 100% of your thoughts, feelings, actions, and behaviors. You are even responsible for what you allow to influence you. If you come on this show and you want to deny everything that we have to say, that is totally up to you. And that's your responsibility. I think that's your choice. I don't think that you just have to be influenced by everything that comes your way. You can choose what you do and don't. You are and are not influenced by. But anyway.
So the cons, the mental health, like they're saying, the more you look through people's feeds, the more
you scroll.
The more your self-esteem goes down.
Right. Yeah.
So, and you can look at it like that, or you could look at it as like comparing. You can also look at it as you're comparing to like get yourself to that level, or to build your self-confidence and like motivate yourself to get there.
Okay, yeah. So like if somebody is at a different place than you that you wish you could be, that you want to push yourself towards that space rather than try to tear them down.
If you see someone driving a Maserati around Iowa City, like, does that give you social anxiety or depression because you don't have a Maserati? No.
That's a good point.
You might be like, well, I want to get there one day, and like, how am I going to do that?
How are you going to work for it? Yeah. How do I earn that?
If the people in your closest knit social circle are all going to school and getting jobs and starting a family, that might encourage you to get your shit together if you're sitting on the couch just like scrolling through social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to be like...
That's exactly what I mean.
If you want to sit there and wallow, then that's your thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean by, are you getting used by social media, or are you using social media?
Yeah, and placing the blame on something that you control is not a good way to point the blame.
Yeah. What about okay, so there's this thing happening where one of the skills in young people that is I don't know how they measure this, but
shrinking?
That is going away, is the ability to converse, face-to-face conversation, and that is going down. Do you, what about that?
I kind of do think that is a problem, because
you're going to have to communicate with people on some level, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I do too.
In that way, like, social media is good for keeping in touch and conversing in a slight
in a digital
way.
Form.
But if that is keeping you from going the extra mile and walking up to someone and saying hello, then that's a problem.
But just to challenge what you just said there, I don't think that is keeping them.
I think it's a crutch.
Well, I don't even know, like, if that's good. Like if you can grow your ability to converse with somebody just like this, and as well as being able to converse with someone through a digital medium. You can do both. I don't think that one is negatively. I don't think that one is negatively affecting the other. I don't think one is impeding the other. I think you should be able to do that. You're going to have to learn to do both. I think it's really important to change your language around that. It's like, well, social media isn't the cause for the decrease in ability to converse, but what are we doing to teach our young kids how to converse? And are we giving them an example or yeah?
We're giving them social media platforms, but then they're not utilizing it.
Yeah, we were talking about one of the athletes that I've worked with for a long time. He wanted to talk to a girl, and I was like, why don't you just go talk to her? Why don't you just go say hi? And he's like, you can't do that. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that? Like, I've done that my whole life. Like, if I wanted to go talk to a girl, I went and said hello to that girl. And he's like, no, you can't do that. You have to like her pictures first. And you have to do all this other stuff first. And I was like, no, you don't. Like, that's a coward's way to do it. Just go say hello.
And it's creepy.
And he goes, no, that's creepy to just go say hello. And I'm like, you think it's more creepy to like some of her pictures without saying hello to her first? And I did point out, this is proof right here. Walked across the pool and said hello. She hates it.
A roundabout way.
It was not in a roundabout way. I got dared. It was a dare, and I walked across the pool and I said hello. Bam.
Yeah, that was also before. I don't know if you would have like randomly found me on social media.
Yeah,
and
think of it the other way around.
Pictures,
think of the other way around. Like some of her pictures, commented on some of her pictures.
Weird.
Yeah, and then I was like,
I'd be like, why is this random person trying to find me? And like. I don't know. It's just such an odd thing that he would even think that. And that's his truth, though. He totally believed that.
Yeah.
To the point where he thought he would be creepy for going up to
by truth, she means it was true to him. It was as true to him as this jacket is black. It's as true to him as, I don't know, the sky is blue.
Yeah.
Every time that I say that, somebody argues with me. Is like, actually, it's because of the reflection off of the water, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, whatever, dude. Like, sky's blue. But yeah, I think like there is an ability to converse here, but that puts more responsibility back on. I don't think that's like some people are trying to use that to avoid responsibility. That's more responsibility on the people, the leaders, the coaches, the teachers, the adults, the grandparents, the parents, to teach your kids how to converse. Like, I make every one of the kids that walks into Grit Gym, all the younger athletes, we don't have a lot of them, but all the younger athletes, when they meet someone new, they're required, I don't care how awkward it is, and usually it's pretty awkward, they're required to walk up, stick out their hand, say, hello, my name is, and yours? Hello, nice to meet you, and to use their name. And they'll look them in the eye when they do it. And if they don't do that, we don't move on. They have to do that every single time. And I think that's just a life skill that should be trained into every single kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, they should be training that every single day.
Well, if they don't learn to do it, then they probably won't ever do it on their own. If never taught to like, oh,
they'll never do it. Yeah.
Thing.
Why? How else would they? How would they figure that out? I'm going to like some of her pictures first. Hello, my name is Adam, and yours?
I think it's
nice to meet you.
A much nicer way.
Yeah, but
I don't know. It'd be weird to get like a girl's point of view. Like,
you are a girl.
I know, in that age group. I don't know.
Oh, we could ask your two little sisters.
Yeah, like, would it be weird if some random kid came up and said hello and introduced himself? I doubt they would say yes.
It would probably be weird in a good way.
Yeah.
Weird in a good way. It'd probably be like, that's pretty strange, but I like it. That shows courage. That shows that guy can do anything. That shows me that
willing to go the extra mile.
I can be attracted to him, and it's okay. But yeah, so conversation is definitely going down, but that puts more responsibility back on the parents, the teachers, the grandparents, the coaches, anybody that is in a position that interacts with young kids to converse with them and make them. So one of the things I also do, the other thing is, if I ask a question, I get an answer. I do not ask a question without getting an answer. That's one of the, like, I think so wholeheartedly on this that it almost is like an annoying thing to me. Like, if I ask a question, I'm going to get an answer. I might have to ask a couple times. I do this to adults too. But it's like, if I ask you how you are and you don't sit there and tell me back, it's like, hey, how are you? How are you? I want the answer.
Okay.
Anyway, but what about trolls and lurkers?
Those are the cons, right?
I would rather have a troll than a lurker.
Okay.
Like the lurker is a person who is on social media but never interacts, never does anything. They're kind of elitist and pretentious about. They're like, yeah, I have a social media account,
like
but I never post anything
behind the scenes, but not really giving their input.
Yeah, they just kind of stalk everybody else, and they have the social media account, so they're indulging in it, but they think it's bad to have a social media account. And it's like, well, then you're unethical, immoral, and you're a hypocrite. Like
it depends on your. I don't know. Like some people do it for certain reasons. It's not like they don't feel like pressure to get one. It's like they have their own reasons not to.
No,
but
I'm okay with someone not getting it.
They can't judge someone for putting themselves out there.
Yeah, if you think what I just said, like if you think that social media is bad, then you better not have a social media account at all. And if you think that social media, if you want to interact and use this thing for what it can be, then I think that you should interact. You should comment, you should like, you should share, you should interact like humans do. You know, like I look at trolls interact. That's why I say I'd rather have the troll than the lurker. The lurker just sits there and they have a social media account, but they never post anything, they never do anything, they never interact with anybody, they don't like anything, and then they pretentiously say how social media is bad and that no one should use it, and I just refrain from that. I'd much rather have a hater. I'd much rather have a troll. A troll is someone that goes around and says nasty things. They're like the person who, when I say the sky is blue, and they're like, actually, you're an idiot because of this and this and this and this and this.
So what if they're doing it from a fake account? Because a lot of people do it from fake accounts.
Trolls?
Yeah.
I don't care. At least they're
putting their.
I'd still rather have that than a lurker.
It's kind of like being a lurker.
Yeah, totally.
I think if you don't have the guts to do it from your own platform, then what are you saying about your opinion? It's like, oh, my opinion doesn't matter that much. I'm just going to do it from this platform. I
don't even know if it has to be an opinion, but I get what you mean. But what's your intention with social media? Are you using it for fun? Are you using it for education? Are you using it for entertainment? Are you using it to keep up with friends, which would go into fun? Are you using it for business? Are you using it for branding? Are you using it, like, what is the intention? Yeah. Like me, I think social media should be this fun, engaging kind of atmosphere sort of thing. I mean, I think the social media is no different than the town square was 50, 60 years ago. That this is the place where people congregated and had a good time. You know, on a Sunday night, there was a special event in the town square sort of thing.
Social creatures, whether we like to admit it or not. Even when you're an introvert, you still on a very basic level, we all want to be understood. We all want to have our thoughts and feelings and experiences to share with someone, whether it's through social media or through a conversation with a friend or family member. We all want to be understood, and I don't know, some people are not as good as they are in person. So social media is kind of an outlet for that as well.
I think it can be.
Well, I mean,
it's definitely different. I mean, it's different. Like being in person and being on social media, it's different.
Being in high school versus going to college. In high school, you have a very small-minded group of people. They all grew up in the same town, went to go to college. There's so many different types of people that you can interact with. Social media is a good way of broadening your audience and finding people that have similar interests or opposite interests as well, that you can broaden your ideas and kind of shape your opinions. I don't know, in high school it's just we all kind of grew up the same and we had the same teachers and we had the same opinions, and now I don't know.
Yeah, the world didn't get bigger with social media. It definitely got smaller, and not in a bad way. Now we can interact with people in Japan, like that. We not that long ago we had an interview. Rachel hates it when I do this.
It's so loud.
I'm a good clicker apparently. No, I had no idea.
Snapper.
Snapper?
I can't do it at all.
I lost my pen.
I mean, I can't.
But it's pretty cool that Alex Backhouse, we had him on the show not that long ago, just a few months ago.
Again?
He's from the UK.
I think I watched.
Yeah, the blood sausage.
Yep.
And I'm just this just blows my mind that you could have a conversation with somebody that is that far away and we can just talk like this. But I think it's really interesting. But what about, okay, so we've got lurkers, we've got trolls, we've got the conversation that maybe isn't happening. And I still think that exposes what is going on with us as a people, like some of the issues. If you have a troll out there that is hating on things, I think that shows something inside about them, just like it does in person. If you have a person that is, that the person at the bar that looks across the bar sees somebody that is doing something that they wish they could do, but they're too scared to do it, or is wearing an outfit the way that they wish they could wear it, or, something, so they get jealous of it and then they hate on it. Well, I think social media is the same thing. Like, oh, who are you to think that you can do something that I think I can't do?
Yeah. I mean,
I hate you.
And if it starts a conversation, like, you don't want to just have people who agree with you.
Totally.
100% of the time, then you're never going to learn anything.
But a troll isn't just disagreeing. A troll is like being nasty. Like disagreements can happen. Like you and I disagree all the time. We don't
all the time.
And it doesn't mean that we're like
no, it's like a challenge.
We don't like the combat is optional.
Build on each other's views.
Yeah.
And
exactly
how we view the world. It's not like I want to bury you in the ground kind of conversations, because how fun would that be?
Why are you looking at me like that?
You're the only person in the room.
No, that is something I have to watch out for, because I tend to go to competition. I have very high level competitive skills. I'm very much still learning every day on how to be much more cooperative. Rach is a great cooperator. She's an amazing cooperator. She sucks on the competitive side. She sucks so bad in competition.
I can be competitive.
I know,
I can
but
be extremely competitive.
I know, but not when you don't just able to. There it is again. You don't just flip it on like a switch. Like for me, it's like almost like my natural instinct is to be competitive, and cooperation takes some work. For you, competition takes some work, and cooperation is just like, why can't we all just hug?
Oh, whatever. All right, so
it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Pros.
So what are some of the pros? Like the pros, I think a lot of the social media stuff is that it are the really hard ones to accept, like the responsibility thing, like with conversation. I think that is an exposure to the responsibility we have as adults to make, to pressure young kids into, and I use that word on purpose, pressure young kids into, and force them into a conversation.
Wait, social media does that?
Well, not, like, it exposes it. Like, if conversations are going down,
okay, the
skill of conversing, then it's our responsibility to engage these kids in a conversation.
Okay.
And if all this hate is happening off social media, it's our responsibility it's the people who are willing to change that to be not to be cliche, but to be the change.
Okay. So making social media positive again. I don't know.
It was kind of fun when social media first started, or when the internet first started. It was just like, holy crap! I just talked to someone in China, and now it's like, what's that meme? The new meme. I'm something. Oh, Parks and Rec. It's the guy sitting and it says "Change my mind." He makes a statement at the bottom of the page. It says "Change my mind." Right. I'm offended. Change your mind. It's really funny. But no, like
the pros. So like, it's a good platform for your business. It's a free source of network marketing.
Which people like to...
Or not network marketing.
Marketing. But I think that people like to hate on that one for a second, though. Like, if you have a product that you believe in, you have a service that you believe in, you have a service that helps a lot of people, you have something that, Joanne and I were talking about this yesterday, because she just wrote this book, has this book published, and the fact that she doesn't have 1 million followers means that she doesn't have an audience to push this book out to, and that deprives all of these people that might really want to, and take something away from her book, it deprives them of that experience. Like, it robs them of that experience.
1 million people knew Joanne.
Yeah.
I think 1 million people would want to buy her book.
Yeah, totally. And then all of those people get to have that experience that she provided. Mm-hmm. Like, it is her duty, it is her obligation, it is her responsibility, it is their moral and ethical duty to do those things. And if she doesn't do those, then she just robbed all those people of that experience.
So now,
that's sad, right?
Now on social media, you just have to be more creative in how you reach your audience.
Yeah.
So
how do you get attention?
It forces you to, like, maybe not like get attention, but
yeah, you're gonna have to at some level.
You gotta create your your image to the point where the people who are following you are positive influences, and like they like your stuff, so in turn you can build your business based off of yourself.
And for the people
I'm good.
For the people who are like, well, I'm not a business, Adam. Well, yes, you are. CNN, ABC, CBS. They were the only three. They were the only three 50 years ago. That was it. And then all of a sudden, ESPN and TNT and USA and all these other ones started. Now there's like 212. Like 15 years ago or 20 years ago or whatever, 30 years ago, there was like 212 of these. Well, now everybody is a media. Everybody is a media. You are a TV station, essentially. If you have a Facebook, a Twitter, an Instagram, any of these things, if you have these, you are a brand. You are a business on some level. It's not really a deniable thing.
You've created a following.
Even if you have no followers, you still are a channel that someone can tap into. Even if you never post, you're still a channel that someone can tap into. You are a channel.
Your content is your channel. Whatever you put up.
And if you have something to give to the world, to rob me of the gift that you have to give to the world is immoral to me. Like I want to experience you. You should be giving that out to the world. Like to me that's wrong. Like if Rachel doesn't post and doesn't do stuff and doesn't, this is one of the greatest lights in the universe. And you think I'm kidding, but I'm not. Like she's goofy, she's smart, she's intelligent, she's gorgeous, she has all this really great stuff. She has this, and if she isn't slapping the shit out of social media, putting that stuff out there, she is robbing the world of the experience of her. And I think that is just an extremely sad thing. I have over 20 years of studying exercise, studying nutrition, studying mindset, and studying this health thing. If I don't go out and push that into the world, I am robbing the world of all the knowledge that I have accumulated and all the understanding and all the analysis that I have done over that time. That is unethical, it is immoral, and it denies my purpose in this life.
Whoa. Well, and also on that, it kind of, like how you said with like the news.
Mm-hmm.
So people are really upset with the news lately.
Because it's not the news, it's like, just bullshit.
Become like, yeah. But in that way, you're creating your own voice, and you get to choose what you're rewarded by likes and followers.
Yes.
And they will continue to like and follow your stuff.
Yep.
So it gives us a lot of power in that.
Yeah.
So people are watching the news less and watching the things that they get joy from.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's that. That's a positive in my mind.
And we used to think of it as like, oh, if I go work out and I eat healthy and I'm a good parent and I do, and I study and I do all of this stuff in the community, then I'll have a positive influence on the people around me. Well, now you have the ability to affect billions, literally billions, by putting your message out there. I just think, I personally think like that was the conviction for starting this, to hitting this every single day. It was like, if I don't do this, I am robbing the world of everything. All right. Hey, we're back. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I really think you're robbing the world of you if you don't put yourself out there.
Yeah.
But what about from just a personal standpoint? What are some of the pros of just being personally? I'm on Facebook. What?
Well, I mean, it lets like the people that you have in your life kind of connect in a smaller way. So like the family members and friends.
Yeah, sure.
Like in a smaller way, you can interact, you can like their photos, you can comment, and it doesn't take any time.
You can say
all.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Anything.
If you haven't noticed,
staying in contact with people that you're not necessarily in contact with.
Yeah. I run a business. I'm writing a book. I'm doing all of this different stuff. I still find time to write happy birthday on every single person's wall every single day. It takes me 30 seconds. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. It's a really easy thing. What happens if that person is like, oh, someone wrote happy birthday? That's nice. What if it's like, even if it's like a tiny little thing, why is that not worth it? But I do think people forget that, especially right now, like I scroll through my feed and I just see like gun control, anti-gun control, gun control, anti-gun control. And it's just like, oh my God, I see so much political stuff. And people like arguing, like really getting in fights. I'm like, did we forget that this can be fun? It
can be fun, creative outlet for, I mean, that might be what they really want to put out there, though. Like, if that's their thing, that's their thing. If their main goal is to get guns taken away, then it's a platform for that. They can create their own opinions and put it out there and maybe get people to be on their side. There's that. It doesn't matter if it's, I mean, in our eyes, it's kind of like, oh, not this again.
I just have a very simple view of all of it because I'm a little bit more towards the libertarian side. So
I know, but like that's not the point.
I know it's not. The point is putting your thing, what you find important.
What you want to see more of, you put out there, and you will get back.
Yeah. Yeah, I also filter it a little bit. If it's not positive, if it's not humorous, it's not educational, or if it's not inspirational on some level, if it doesn't have to do like somewhere in that realm, I'm probably not going to share it. I'm probably not going to like it. I'm probably not going to comment on it. And remember, that's how Facebook chooses how you push out all this stuff. So if you see something that you don't like, don't spend any time on it. The more time you spend reading it, the more Facebook will recognize that and say, oh, okay, well, people must be engaging with this. Let's push it out to more people.
Yeah.
If you comment on it, it's like stopping at a store and conversing with people as they walk by and trying to get them to all come in and comment on this one thing. It just brings more people, more attention to this thing. I'm not talking like metaphorically or anything. I'm saying actual algorithms that Facebook and social medias create because they think that, oh, well, I want the greatest platform possible. Let's push out the things that are getting the most attention.
And the more you're on, it's just getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
Like every single day they are going over this and over this, and like they are pinning you in a certain category, and they know exactly what you read. They know exactly what you're liking. So they're going to push more of that into your face.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't like something, don't comment, don't share, and scroll past that as fast as you possibly can. And there's a little unfollow thing up at the top. And the more that you share, the more that you comment, and the more that you like of the things that you want to see more of, the more that you're going to get in your feed, and the more that everybody else is going to see of all of your friends, and the more and their friends and their friends and their friends, which is how this thing works.
It's pretty impressive what they're able to do.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I think it's so cool. But the whole point of my show, the message that I wanted to get across today was that I would rather see people use social media than get used by social media. And by getting used by social media is where you just sit there and scroll and you lurk and you never interact and you never post anything. And that's just, for one, it's boring, and for two, it just makes you a lurker. But the person who interacts and puts themselves out there, and I'm not saying that you're going to get a bunch of positive feedback from social media, because I sure don't, but at the same time,
you get some.
I get a lot.
You get
actually,
a lot.
But it's not like this like huge fulfilling thing where like, oh my god, I can't wait to post. It's a little bit of work, but at the same time, like,
yeah, and your goal isn't to just get people who love your stuff. Like,
yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, having people who only love your stuff isn't going to, like, create conversation.
Yeah, how do I get the magnetic man off of the metal couch?
Whoa. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, that's how I'm trying to, like, how do I get that person?
You want to spread your message and how you do things. And if somebody's spewing the opposite, you can have a conversation of, why do you believe that? Or why do you think this?
Yeah, I do that a little too often. Sometimes people get really angry about that sometimes, but I think that that's still a good reason to do it. And
even you could be wrong about something, and like it starts the conversation of like, oh, what is right and wrong? I don't know. It forces us to kind of look for the answers deeper than just like people liking our stuff and like, oh, everybody loves me, I'm not going to change anything. You know what I mean? I think that's part of the problem is that, well, I have no problem with people saying you should love yourself no matter what, and you can do anything you want in this world, but it's got to be followed up with if you earn it. Okay. You know what I mean? If you earn it. Okay. I think that was one of the great mistakes that people are pointing at. You know, they're like, oh, all the parents that raised the millennials and stuff, and that they told them they can do anything, and now we're dealing with it. I don't think that that's the case. I think that they didn't follow it up with, but you have to earn it. You have to work for it. Like, for instance, you don't hear me say good job a lot at GridChim. You hear me say good work. There's a big difference there. Growth mindset, fixed mindset. Good job. That was just how you should. Good work. You're putting in good work, keep working for it. There's a big difference between saying you're going to be the next Derek Jeter and saying you've been working really hard at baseball and it shows. Yeah.
They're both positive statements.
They are.
Anyway, this is a totally different topic that we don't need to go into right now. But I really think, like, what's your big message for social media?
Use it, and use it to your specific needs and wants. And the more you do that, the more of a following that you'll have, and positive people that you really like interacting with will follow you.
I think so too. Yeah.
And
then you just gain power. You know,
you gain a voice.
Mm-hmm.
And your voice should be heard.
Yeah, you collaborate with good things. So,
I think a lot of the businesses, like in there's competition, but also when we collaborate with people, it's kind of like 2 brains are better than 1.
Yep.
And so. 8 billion brains are better than 1. You know?
I don't remember what it is, like how many people are actually on. I
think it's 8 billion, right?
Well, there's 7.6 billion. I checked this on Google 2 days ago, how many people are on Earth, and it was 7.6 billion.
So it's almost 8 billion.
But not all 8 billion people are on Facebook or on social media.
Almost.
A lot of them are. But we got to shut down the show. So, but please put in what you think of social media down in the comments section. Tell us like the pros, the cons, the things that you think are great, the things that you think are bad. I have no judgment for how you think or your thoughts, but I would
it's
really,
a conversation. It's not.
Yes,
we're not judging anyone.
I would really like to know your perspective, because then I can get to grow my perspective. So it's selfish and selfless at the same time. But thanks for being here, guys. Really appreciate it. You have anything?
Nope. I think I'm good.
All right, good. All right, we're gonna get off and. All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.